Okay. Sam,
Yes?
did you go with Mommy to the voting booth?
Yes, I did, Daddy.
Did you get to see what she did?
Yes, I got to see what she did, but she told me I can't press the things until I'm 18 or older than 18.
Okay. All right, I took my daughter for her to understand. We wanted her to understand how important voting is. Now, while I was there voting, everybody's talking about different things, and I'm going to talk straight and forward and frank with you people out there. You're going to have to start learning to get your act together to decide what the heck you want. Okay? We were there and we voted for the candidates we chose. Our personal candidates is to set up a block, so basically a tourniquet to stop the bleeding of our nation, so until 2012 when we can send the surgeons in to fix the problem. Now, what am I talking about? Get your act together. Term limits. Let's talk about that. You people keep saying the federal government is too large. It has too much power. And then you're saying term limits. Get your act together. Figure out what you want. Do you want to give more power to the federal government? To let them decide how long a congressman or senator? It's not the federal government. It's not Congress's place to decide. On the president, I would agree, because the president represents the whole country. But on congressmen and senators, get your act together. Each state, don't give up this right. It's not the federal government that needs to decide whether or not a congressman or senator has a term limit. It's up to each individual state. Congressmen and senators work for the states, not the federal government. If I had my way, the federal government would send the money that these congressmen and senators get to the state. Then the state would issue the checks to their congressmen and senators. Congressmen and senators in Congress would not be eligible for the federal medical program because they'd have to go through their state and get the state medical programs because they work for the state. They don't work for Congress. They are Congress. They work for each and every state. Now, don't stand in front of me and say reduce the power of the federal government and in the next breath say give them more power. No. If you want term limits, it's the responsibility of your state, your governor, your state Congress, your state ruling body. You, the people, make the expression of how you want your congressmen and senators to serve you and make it happen in your state. Now, believe me, congressmen and senators are going to give you the darndest stories why you shouldn't do it. And they're going to sound good. But you got to understand, this is your congressman and your senator. They're not the federal government. These people represent you, and you need to understand that. They need to understand that. Why do you think they believe they work for the federal government? Because they get their paychecks from the federal government. Because they got medical from the federal government. They have everything from the federal government, so they believe that. The truth is, you the people and the states. Congressmen and senators work only for the states. Do not relinquish your power and authority to the federal government by allowing the federal government to decide term limits. Each and every one of you states must realize it's your right, your authority to decide how long your term limits should be. If the state, let's use Virginia for example, think that no congressman should serve more than 3 terms and no senator more than 4, they could pass a law. Federal government can't say no, you can't do that. You could say, this is my senators and my congressmen. This is the way we want it. You set the minimum standards by how old they will be and they must reside. But you, the federal government, has no further authority than that. We, as the state, tells our congressman and our senator how long, Sam, stop that, how long our congressmen and senators can be in office. We have that authority, and we will not relinquish it to the federal government. It's time you people start practicing what you preach. I believe the federal government is too large. I believe the federal government is too involved in things they shouldn't be. We need to reduce it. Today, November 2nd, Election Day 2010, it's time for you people to start taking the first step to reduce the power of the federal government. Understand, it's not the federal government's choice. It's you. You can give it to the federal government and lose it forever, or you could say, no, we will choose how long. Some states may choose 2 terms, 3 terms. Some states may go 5 terms, 6 terms. It's up to the state to choose. What will happen then is seniority will get thrown out of Congress. What will happen then, we will start getting the paychecks coming from the states, and then the congressmen and senators will start realizing who they work for. They don't know who they work for. Stop, they're going to be laughing. They don't, because you, the state, gives them nothing. At least they think that way. Our federal government should have a set amount for each congressman, and they give that to the state for each and every congressman. And they should have a set amount for each senator, and that goes to the state. Then the state could add more to that, but cannot take away, and they should pay out that paycheck. But it comes from the state treasury. The money goes into the state treasury and out of the state treasury. Why? So that the congressman and senator is reminded every time they get paid, they work for the state. Congressmen and senators are not federal employees. They are state employees. We, the people, must realize that, because that will never change until you say, oh yes, they do work for us. They do represent us. They are part of this state government. They go to Congress, the building, as a congressman or senator from this state. They are elected by the state. They represent the state. So people, if you want term limits, it's up to you and your state. Don't relinquish any more power to the federal government. And if they say, well, it won't be fair, some will have it, some won't. You're right. Some will have it, some won't. And don't talk to me about fairness when you, the federal government, has never been fair. It will be equal for everybody in our state. No person in our state will be treated any different. And that the Constitution guarantees. But it's the state to decide who and how long their senators and congressmen should be. Don't give up that power to the federal government. Don't you think you've given up enough?